everyone, it's Ashley with Go and Crochet, and today I am doing something that I've been planning to do for a while now, but I had to build up what I was doing before I could present it to you, because when I do my reviews, I want to make the product before I show the product so that I know what it's gonna look like, how it's gonna be represented to you guys based off of the pattern. So today I'm going to go through some cow patterns. I have 5 pattern creators. So when we're talking patterns, we want it to look like the pattern shows in the picture. We want it to be easy and fun to make, and we want to see if it's marketable, if we can make this for the long run in our markets if you are a market maker. So I'm going to go through those. I'm going to tell you all my thoughts on these patterns and any critiques I have. Honestly, I don't think I really have many critiques for these guys, but for critiques, I guess I'll tell you if it's a no sew pattern versus a sew pattern, length of time it took me to make them, and all of that. So my first pattern I'm going to show is this Highland cow. So this is a sleepy Highland cow, and as you can see, he's a very large. This pattern is by Flower Safari, and as you can see in the picture I showed you, their pattern is done in a worsted weight acrylic yarn, where I did mine in the bulky chenille 6 yarn, and so it came out a lot bigger. There is a lot of sewing for this pattern. The muzzle, the horns, and the legs are all sewn in, and then you have to do the little hair on the top, which takes a while to do as well. So for critiques, I would say a lot of sewing is involved in this pattern, which makes it take a lot longer to make the pattern. I still think it's super cute, but with me doing it in the chenille yarn, it did come out quite a lot larger, so that makes it less marketable. It did take me a lot longer to make it with all the sewing involved. So for markets, it's probably not going to be one of the items that I'm going to make a lot of. I'll have one at each market. If I sell him, maybe I'll decide to make another one. But oh yeah, you also have to crochet the head on too. I just remembered because I was looking at it and the angle of the head is kind of tricky to do. So it's a little tricky to get all of the pieces set right so that it looks like it's sleeping and cozy. Probably not going to be making a ton of these, especially for markets. It is an eye-catching piece. He has been to a couple of my markets, and people are always like, oh my goodness, look at him. But no one has picked him up yet, so he's hanging out with me still. Say this guy is worth a purchase, yes. But more so for like a one and done item, not necessarily for like market friendly. Okay, my next pattern is, oh, and I forgot to mention, all of these patterns were paid patterns, and so is this worth the purchase or not? And so I'll share that with you guys too. So this is the next pattern I've made. This is the Cheeky Cow by LittePotatoCreations, and I did mine in this Sweet Snuggles light tweed with black dots. I'm not sure if this is the coloration. I was trying to go for a cookies and cream look. I don't know if it maybe got lost in translation a little bit, possibly because I have a lot of people that think it's cute, but they haven't grabbed it yet. This guy has been with me for a little while, but I think if it was all white with the black dots, it might scream more of cow. But that's my issue, not Peter's pattern issue. That was just mine. And this guy has a fun little surprise on the back. It has some butt cheeks. So that makes it like a fun little extra surprise when you see this cow. This cow is all one piece. You make the legs, build the body, you have the arms ahead of time, and I believe, I can't remember, I think maybe the horns are and the muzzle are the only two things that you actually have to sew on. So for speedy creations, this is more marketable than say the Sleepy Highland Cow behind me, because it will work up quicker. I would say the Sleepy Cow behind me took about 4-ish hours. This guy probably took me 2 to 3 hours to make. So, and it is a large size. So it's a bigger size. So it's a good size to have when you want something a little bit bigger for your markets. I would say this one is definitely worth a purchase as well. The pattern was written well and it was fairly quick to make, for especially for the size. All right, the next pattern is from my friend Stacy Makes over here on YouTube, and this cow is Betty the cow. Now, Betty went to a market with me. It was her first market and she was absolutely loved. So many people picked her up and I swore she was going to get bought. The reason she didn't is because one of the first people that picked her up dropped her on the ground and got her dirty. And it basically stained her muzzle and the side of her body. And I am not able to get that out. I tried and tried and tried at home to get the stains out, but it was a very dirty floor and they got her really dirty. They dropped her, picked her up and ran away. It was really bad. So a lot of people picked her up, but when they saw she had this big old smudge of dirt on her face and her side, no one actually pulled the trigger to get her. So she's going to be my my friend from now on, and she's gonna hang out with me from now on because I don't mind it. She's gonna live up in my bedroom watching over me at night. And so this Betty the cow pattern is a lovely pattern to make. It's mostly no sew. Everything is made except the head you sew to the body. Everything else is crocheted within the rounds. Even the muzzle is within the head and you just have to attach the head to the body, which is not a problem at all. She sits wonderfully on her own. She has a nice little flat bum, cute little tail. She's a great pattern to make, very quick. She would be one of the quicker patterns I have made, probably 1.5 to 2 hours to make her. And I also made a brown, an all brown one. So you have an option of doing the patches to make it look more like a milk cow, I guess you could say, versus more of this solid color cow. So you have options within the pattern and they work up very quick. Obviously this cow works up a lot quicker than the one with the little extra colorations, but I like that change in color. So I would say Betty the cow is 100% market friendly and a great buy. You don't want to miss out on Betty. She's great. Next pattern, this was one of the first cow patterns I ever purchased because I had so many people asking me to make a cow at my markets. Every single market I would go to, when I didn't have a cow, every person would be like, do you have a cow? Do you have a cow? So that's why I started making cows. Now this is my lovely Lavender Loop Crochet cow, and she's beautiful. And I used Sweet Snuggles Light for this one, and I really enjoyed making this. Now I got the 3-in-1 cow pattern because if I'm gonna do one cow, I might as well do multiple cows. And so I also got this one within the pattern. And this is the Highland Cow, and I absolutely love this one as well. I think I actually like this one better than this one. Although I didn't stuff the neck quite strong enough on this guy because his neck is a little bit floppy, unfortunately. I think the horns made it a little bit more floppy, but this pattern was an amazing pattern. It was a great pattern for me to start off making cows with, although they are rather big, so they take longer to sell because you have to charge more for them. These guys took me probably between 3 and 4 hours to make, and obviously use a lot more yarn, and so I have to charge more for them because, I mean, if you see how big this one is, it's a lot bigger than, say, Betty the cow. So you have to charge quite a bit more for it to get your money's worth out of it, right? But I did love this pattern, and I definitely would recommend you to purchase this pattern if you're looking for a cow within this size and in this style. Although I must say there is a lot of sewing. So you have to sew the legs, the arms, the muzzle, the ears, and the horns on these guys. And then this guy has the little tufts at the top too. So you remember, if you are gonna get this pattern, there is a lot of sewing, which kind of adds to the time to make it, which will add to the price that you have to sell it for. But they're super cute, and I love them. All right, the last pattern I made, and it's a pattern by MadelineMaeCo. If you haven't seen my videos already, I have quite a bit of her patterns, and I actually just made these ones last night to add to the pile because I had the patterns, but I hadn't made them yet. So I felt like I had to, for this specific video, make these patterns to go into this video because they're super cute, and I felt like these would be pretty market friendly since all her other things I've made in the past have been market friendly. And so this is Cashew the cow, and I made her in Sweet Snuggles Light because if you see, basically the same pattern, but this is Harlow the Highland cow. You can see the difference in sizing. I used Parfait Chunky for Harlow, and he came out quite a bit smaller than Cashew. I used a 4.5 millimeter hook, and Parfait Chunky, I used a 5 millimeter hook, and Sweet Snuggles Light. So they do come out quite a bit different in sizing. They're pretty good in length of time to make. They're about 1.5-ish hours to make these guys, so very market friendly. Very cute dangly legs. They are virtually no sew. You just have to sew the muzzle and the horns onto them. So they are very low sew patterns, which I love about MadelineMaeCo is she's very low sew. And so these guys definitely worth a buy. I got them in the Crochet Cow Trio pack, but you can buy them separately. So if you just want to do the Cashew cow, or if you just want to do Harlow, and I believe there's also a Longhorn cow that you can make in these guys as well. If you just wanted to do that one, you definitely could. And the same with the Lavender Loop, I believe you can get those separate. But yeah, so 100% market friendly and great for a buy for your next pattern purchase. Now, I'm gonna kind of rate these guys, not like 100%, but I'm gonna tell you which ones I think would be best for your markets versus the least likely. So obviously these two are gonna be a perfect market make because you can put them at a decent price. And my second pick would be Betty the cow. So if I had to pick only 2 patterns out of the entire 5 patterns that I tested, these 2 would be the ones that I would pick the most over all of the others for your next market because of the size. The size is a very friendly, you don't have to charge a huge amount for these guys. Obviously, you can see these were both made out of Sweet Snuggles Light, so Betty is slightly smaller. Betty sits very well on her own, where I'm not sure if Cashew's gonna be able to sit as well on her own because her legs are a little bit more floppy, where Betty's, see how the difference? Betty's gonna sit up. So she's great to have at a market because she's gonna sit on her own and she's gonna look great for your display. Where Cashew, you have to prop her up. So these guys, 100% great for a market. Try them out for yourself and let me know what you think, who you like the best. And of course, I love all of these guys too, but they are much larger, which makes it harder for markets because people are gonna buy something smaller quicker than they're gonna buy something larger. So top two, or I should say top three, because this one, it could technically be a separate pattern from Cashew. So my top three right here. And we'll go ahead and close out this video, short, sweet, quick video on which patterns are great, how they turned out versus their photos, and if they were easy to read and make. All of these were. They were very clear, concise patterns, written very well. I have tested from Flower Safari many times in the past. They always come out quite well. I've tested for Little Potato Crochet a lot in the past, and they always come out quite nicely. Now, I plan to make more of these. I have a whole series planned. I have my next lineup ready to go, just about. I need to make a couple more of them before I can throw that out to you guys. But if you have any suggestions of what animals you would like to see me make, go ahead and add those down in the comments below to let me know what animals you would like to see come up next. And with that, add a cow emoji down in the comments if you got all the way through. Give me one of these and subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to see more content and reviews with me. So I'll talk to you all later. Bye.